15.
All right, stand by A, sound full. Music under.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Okay.
2, 1, and you're up.
Roll A, dissolve, sound full, music under.
Last week it was snow.
Tonight, cold Evan.
Stand by.
Tracking a
Thunder 1.
winter blast. Cold air moving out of Canada. Some of the coldest air we've seen in 2 years.
A mother found dead, neighbors stunned.
Tonight, there are still several questions surrounding the homicide of a young Chesapeake woman who lived in this apartment complex.
After weeks of quiet, troopers say someone is setting fires again on the Eastern Shore.
The president makes history in his inaugural address.
Our journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
And Hampton Roads reacts.
Thunder 1.
The news starts now.
Roll Thunder 1, dissolve, sound full.
From your
Stand by.
local news leader.
Animation.
This is 13 News at 11.
Animate, dissolve my cue.
You thought it was
Stand by
cold
boxes,
last
camera
week.
2 and
Wait
1 to the
until
left.
tomorrow. It will be literally freezing all day.
Take
Evan
boxes
Stewart
open,
is
all
in the
mics.
weather
Stand
lab,
by,
and
Evan,
Evan,
camera
seriously freezing all day?
That's right.
Take
Most
one.
spots will not see
Stand by
afternoon
graphics.
temperatures above the freezing mark tomorrow, and it'll likely continue even into Wednesday as we have this Arctic blast blowing in from Canada. The jet
Evan
stream
will
taking a
wrap
big
up
dive
on
through the
camera
south.
1, then
The
we'll
cold
have
front that
David
is
camera
moving
2.
through right now, and again, that cold air spilling down from the coldest air we've seen since January 2011. How cold are we talking about? Well, let's compare today's highs to tomorrow's highs. Williamsburg, you got up to 57 degrees today. Your high tomorrow afternoon, 31 degrees, a 26-degree temperature drop. Virginia Beach, 56 today, 32 tomorrow. Elizabeth City, you got up to 60 today. You'll be one of the quote-unquote
Stand
warm
by,
spots
1.
at 39, and these chilly temperatures will stick around for a couple of days.
Dissolve.
Tomorrow
Stand by
night's
3.
temperatures will likely be down into the teens and wind chills in the single digits. Much more on that. The 7-day forecast, which also includes a chance of maybe a little bit of snow. Details will be coming up in a couple of minutes.
Mike David,
All right,
take 3.
Evan,
Stand by,
we'll
animation.
keep working on that data over there, I know, and we'll check back with you in just a few minutes.
Animate,
And
take.
remember, we're up before the sun
Stand by
under the
our
check of the
next
cold
animation
temperatures
with
at the
banner.
bus stop for your kids on 13 News Daybreak starting at 4:30 tomorrow
Animate
morning.
white.
And we want to see how you're dealing
Stand
with
by
the cold.
2 and a 2
Send us a
shuttle
pic
push.
of you or your little ones all bundled up,
Eventually
ready
anchor
to head
seamers.
out. You can post it to our Facebook page. Craig just might
Like a
use
boat,
it
30
on
push
TV
2.
tomorrow.
Take.
The other big story we're following tonight, the
And
death
super.
of a young mother.
Stand by.
Tonight, police are
Animation.
calling this a homicide, and neighbors want to know who killed her.
Animate.
This
Take.
happened along
Stand by
Kingsway in
live.
Chesapeake in the Great
Driver.
Bridge area. 13 News reporter
Mike Jonathan.
Jonathan
Take
Costin
live.
is in Chesapeake. And Jonathan, some folks out
Stand
there
by
are
B.
very concerned.
That's right. We do not have a motive. Police have not released a motive, and they do not have a suspect
by
in
B.
custody. And those two facts alone have residents feeling uneasy tonight.
Roll B. Take sound.
Just worried about the kids and what the neighborhood's looking like right now. We don't know much.
Adam Stein wonders what happened to his neighbor. On Sunday, 26-year-old Rachel Abshire was found dead inside her Chesapeake apartment on Kingsbridge Way. Right now, all police are saying is she's a victim of a homicide. Sunday, one neighbor who did not want to be identified when she talked to us said authorities did question one particular man.
There was an older gentleman
About 30-ish
down
left
on
in
the
this. You can
corner
advance.
near
That
the
should
main
be it for
entrance.
the banners.
He was on the phone screaming that there had been an accident. She's dead. She's dead.
Neighbors here say the victim was the mother of 2 young children, and residents say they'd like to know how her children are. They'd also like to know who killed their neighbor and why.
It's a quiet neighborhood. Kids everywhere. You don't
by,
hear
Jonathan,
much stuff
on
like
drive.
this. And like I said, it knocks on everybody's door when something like this happens. I'm right 50 feet away from, what things are
Stand by.
happening right now,
Keep
so it's shaking everybody up.
Mike, take Q.
As one resident told me,
Stand by,
everybody's
3 with
looking at
David.
anyone who's in their neighborhood who looks suspicious. Truly, the community is on edge out there tonight. If you know anything about this case, please call the Chesapeake Police. Reporting live from Chesapeake, Jonathan Costin, 13 News.
Mike David, take
It's
3.
happened
Stand by,
again
animation.
after several weeks of quiet. Someone is once again setting fires on the Eastern Shore, and this time he just barely got away.
Animate,
Someone
take.
set 2 fires
Stand
last
by,
night.
X,
Now we are
Jersey
up to
Brack Mac.
39 arsons in about 2 months.
Roll.
This time the arsonist torched a pile of tires in Unley,
Stand by,
which then
sound bite
damaged
RY.
a billboard along Highway 13. And there was a storage shed set on fire in Nislonia. 13 News spoke to a neighbor whose son saw the fire igniting and thinks he just missed catching the arsonist.
Roll Y. Dissolve sound.
Yeah, he said he just
Super.
couldn't believe it. He said more than likely when the fire took off,
Stand by, David's Mike.
he was probably running one way or the other. But it was dark, and he said he'd never seen him.
Bring it down like you, David.
There's a
Stand by one,
$5,000
Regina.
reward for information that leads to an arrest of this serial arsonist. If you see anything suspicious, call 911.
Take one.
Housing
Stand by
officials
A,
say
search for
they've
heating
replaced
units.
the heating units at Swanson Homes in Portsmouth. That is where 2 people died last year from carbon monoxide. Workers put in 163 combination water heater, air heater units. Leroy and Inez Smith were found dead in their Swanson home apartment last year. The medical examiner is trying to figure out what killed Diane Hartzog. She had been missing since before Christmas. Her body was found yesterday, just a few doors down from where she and her family had been staying in Sandbridge. Police say at this point they do not suspect foul play. We're told an officer hit a sewage intake hole along Tidewater Drive in Norfolk, which led to this crash. We're told the officer was taken to the hospital. He's expected to be okay. And Sandbridge Road is open once again tonight after crews got the last of this crash cleaned up. We're told a cement truck overturned, spilling wet concrete and fuel near the fire station. It took hours, but crews were able to repair the damage to the road.
U.S. Navy is apologizing tonight about the damage to a reef near the Philippines after a ship ran aground on it. The USS Guardian is a minesweeper home-ported in Japan. It hit the reef last week. The Navy is still investigating how this all happened.
Take 3.
It was sounding like Helen Dragas faced some serious opposition to her reappointment as the rector of the University of Virginia, but the vote to keep her there was overwhelming. The Virginia Senate voted to reappoint Dragas 29-9 today. This all goes back to the ouster of UVA President Teresa Sullivan. Students and faculty protested, and Sullivan was brought back. The accrediting agency has since put UVA on warning over the leadership battle.
The Kings are not coming to Virginia Beach, but they are moving. It appears a group of investors will buy the Seattle Kings and likely move them to Seattle, making them the new Seattle Supersonics. The Sonics moved to Oklahoma City several years ago, becoming the Thunder. A source tells the Associated Press the Kings are valued at $525 million.
Thunder 1, dissolve sound. Stand by X, sound full. Roll X, dissolve sound full.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend.
Stand by David's
preserve,
mic.
protect, and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Bring it down like you, David. Super.
The inaugural ceremony today, President Obama taking the oath of office. He was legally sworn in yesterday, the day mandated by the Constitution. The ceremony, however, was held today, followed by the traditional parade back to the White House. And tonight, it was all a celebration with the inaugural balls. We got this video in tonight of the president enjoying a first dance with the First Lady as he begins his second term as president. It's something the president said today during his inaugural address has people talking.
For the first time ever in an inaugural address, the president called for equal rights for same-sex couples. 13 News reporter Brian Farrell has more.
And Regina, President Obama talked about endless possibilities for the country and its people, all its people. You know, it was last year that he said his thoughts about same-sex couples and same-sex marriage had evolved. Today, it seemed clear that evolution is something he will carry into and through his second term.
Row Y, take sound full.
Our journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
Unexpected, huge, historic. President Obama spoke for less than 20 minutes during the public inauguration ceremony. It was time enough to call attention to what may be the final civil rights front to be touched.
For if we are truly created equal, then surely the love we commit to one another must be equal as well.
Since it's the first time it's ever happened, it's pretty incredible. And even though that doesn't change the law per se, it certainly sets the mood for the country.
Shannon Bowman is with the LGBT Center of Hampton Roads as well as Equality Virginia. Bowman has a partner, a daughter from a marriage, a son from her relationship with a former partner.
I think what it does is it actually motivates other people to do more.
This is an opportunity where not just the country is watching, but the entire world is watching.
James Hermanson Parker is with Hampton Roads Pride. He says the fact that Mr. Obama brought up gay rights Monday indicates the president truly wants to advance the issue, that it wasn't something he got behind just to win votes. Hermanson Parker expects the administration will build on progress made during the president's first term.
I was in the Navy for 5 years, and I got out because of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The history of it changing in this community has made things so much more open. So many people are more able to be themselves.
Our journey is not complete.
I think what it does is it actually motivates other people to do more. You know, like I said before, he's not really going to have a direct effect on LGBT rights. but he certainly can motivate others into action. You know, things just don't happen. You actually have to take part in change.
It might take you.
A bill in the state Senate just cleared committee today. It would make it illegal for state workers to be discriminated against because of their sexual orientation or perceived orientation. Believe it or not, the law doesn't prohibit it right now. The bill will move to the Senate floor now. Brian Farrell, 13 News.
Take two.
The honeymoon period for the president's new term will likely be short. The day after tomorrow, the fight resumes over the nation's debt. The House of Representatives will vote Wednesday on whether to raise the nation's debt limit. House Republican leaders say an increased measure will require the House and Senate to approve budgets that call for spending cuts or both chambers go without pay. The current debt limit is $16.4 trillion. Well, they set the standard for video games, creating the legendary Pong.
Well, tonight Atari says it's filing for bankruptcy, but the company says this is not game over.
Plus,
three shot at a North Carolina gun show. How an oversight led to some serious injuries.
Mike Evan White.
And the cold front is just moving through the area as we speak. Temperatures are beginning to fall. Tomorrow night will be the coldest night we've seen in nearly 2 years.
Stand by the break, Master
Straight ahead in the Weather Authority forecast.
Let's fade. Roll break, please.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're up.
Roll Thunder, one sound. Stand by, David. This is all Mike, you, David.
It is simply stunning to watch this. A man tries to shoot a politician in Bulgaria at point-blank range in front of a huge audience. Officials say the man's pistol malfunctioned. That's when the politician grabs the guy and tries to wrestle him down. Security and other officials storm the stage, getting pretty physical. He was arrested and taken away.
Mike, take.
Back at home, a neighbor says she's going to City Hall tomorrow to request a petition to shut down a bar where 2 people were killed. Clifton Christian and Joseph McQueen were shot to death early Saturday morning at the White Oak Lodge on Kecoughtan Road in Hampton. Neighbors say there's been a rowdy crowd there for a period of time, and now they want to end the violence. Marianne Napier says she wants something done.
Rolex, dissolve sound.
We have done a lot of remodeling on our home. We love our home. We love our family. We're very concerned citizens, and I have to do what I have to do.
Bring it down to you, Regina.
13 News did reach out to the owner of the White Oak Lodge. He declined to comment on the petition and the fatal shootings.
And to North Carolina now, where 3 people were shot at a gun show. Police say a man brought a 12-gauge gun to sell at the Dixie Gun and Knife Show in Raleigh, but he forgot to unload it. He brought it in for an inspection, but when he opened the case, the gun went off.
Dissolve sound.
And when I turned around, I heard the gun hit the table, and when I heard the gun hit the table, I heard the shot went off. And the guy that was standing right in front of me, about as far as you are from me now, it went through his hand, and then undoubtedly then heard a lady holler, and it went through her side somewhere.
Now, 2 of the victims were hit in their hands. A 3rd person was shot in the side. Following Saturday's shooting, the gun show stopped private gun sales and banned personal guns from the property.
Take one.
Another recall tonight for the Honda Odyssey. Honda says the driver's side airbags might have been put together without certain parts. And without those parts, the airbag might not work when you need it most. This is for Odysseys made from 2011 and 2013. Also, the 2009 to 2013 Honda Pilot. This follows last month's recall of both models over issues with keys.
Legendary game maker Atari is filing for bankruptcy, but the company says this is not game over. They say the move is about the American branch of the company breaking away from its French parent company. Atari US says that parent company is weighing them down with its heavy debt. Across Hampton Roads, people paused today to remember the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
We also saw folks pitching in, honoring his memory through work. Martin Luther King Day coincided with the National Day of Service this year. At Calvary Baptist Church, people got involved. More than 100 volunteers made bags for senior citizens and learned about planting trees. They also made care packages to send to our men and women overseas.
When you're in the military, you can see how people do care about you. You go into a mall and you're in uniform, people will just say, "Oh, well, thank you for your service."
Bring down Q.
There are more opportunities to serve. The group Volunteer Hampton Roads holds its next event February 8th.
Roll Thunder 1 is all sound.
Now your 13 News Weather Authority forecast. Here's meteorologist Evan Stewart.
As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, some of the temperatures we're expecting later tonight and over the next couple of days, some of the coldest air we've seen in about 2 years. So I did want to go over some of those cold weather tips. Again, these are pretty much common sense, but dress in layers and wear a hat that covers your ears. That will keep your head a little bit warmer and keep that head in, also, or the heat in. Also, wear waterproof mittens. Mittens are actually better than gloves because it keeps your fingers closer together. And if you have pets, bring them indoors. If you can't bring them indoors, provide them with plenty of warm bedding so that they can stay warm at night. And make sure that their water bucket, if it does freeze over, that you break that ice so that they will have something to drink. We are looking at clear skies out there right now as we look at the Harrison Opera House with our Norfolk Sky View. 48 degrees on the south side, 46 on the peninsula. The front is moving through as we speak. Winds are now switching around to the northwest at 6 miles per hour, and the humidity is falling. Dew points down to 22 degrees. We'll probably see dew points below 0 over the next few days as that cold, dry air builds into the region. 39 in Richmond, it's 41 in Surrey, 42 in Gloucester, but still 48 degrees in Norfolk and Currituck, 54 in Manio. Again, that front slicing through the area as we speak. We'll continue to push off towards the south and east. We'll look for those temperatures to really drop through the overnight hours, and even through the morning hours tomorrow. Some of the warmest temperatures will actually be in the next few hours. Lots of sunshine as we went through the day today. That cold air banked up off towards the north is starting to push towards the south and will continue to do so. And while we are talking about cold temperatures, bitterly cold readings in Pittsburgh, it's 12 degrees, 12 in Columbus, 10 in Indianapolis. So I guess you can say misery loves company because the next few days we're talking about some brutally cold temperatures. So let's time things out with Futurecast. Midnight tonight, 41 degrees in Norfolk, 42 Newport News, still 45 in Elizabeth City. And as that front slides through by 5 a.m., temperatures will have dropped to 12 degrees or so, down to 32 degrees in Norfolk at 5 a.m., 32 in Virginia Beach, 31 Newport News, 28 back in Franklin, 33 in Elizabeth City. And even by 9 a.m., temperatures continuing to fall as that cold air moves in, 29 degrees at 9 a.m., 29 in Chesapeake, 32 in Elizabeth City. And with those winds coming in out of the northwest across the warmer bay waters, it's possible that we could see a few bay effect streamers and maybe a snowflake or two up across the eastern shore. By the midday hours, only around 30 degrees with lots of sunshine, and through the afternoon, we should top out around 31, 32, 33 degrees, a little bit warmer down in Elizabeth City. As we go through the evening hours, temperatures will continue to fall, and we'll see those overnight lows tomorrow night drop down into the teens. So 27 tonight, clear and cold. Tomorrow, 29 in the morning and only 32 degrees through the afternoon. But with those winds gusting to 35 miles per hour, it will feel even colder than that, more like the teens. 18 degrees tomorrow night, wind chills in the single digits, 33 and mostly sunny on Wednesday, so still cold. And 36 degrees on Thursday with partly sunny skies. A storm system approaches for Friday. Will warm up to 47 degrees, and it'll bring rain with it. But as the cold air comes in behind the storm, we could see some of that rain change over to snow Friday night. Too early to talk about any kind of accumulation, and the weekend remains chilly. 40 on Saturday, 38 degrees on Sunday.
So we get 3 seasons in like 3 days?
Pretty much. That's what it seems like. There were some spots a couple days ago that hit 70 degrees.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
All right. Well, he's breaking his silence on camera for the first time. Who Manti Te'o will tell his story to next.
Roll Thunder 1 is off sound under. Stand by the break.
Today's weather segment is brought to you by Michael and Son Services.
Let's fade or break. That's good enough, I guess.
10, 9.
You can advance your banner, Mike.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're out.
Dissolve my cue.
The story of Manti Te'o and what turned out to be a fake girlfriend is bizarre, to say the least. And very soon you will hear his side of the story, and it will be right here on Channel 13. Te'o, of course, is the Notre Dame linebacker and runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. Last week, word came out that Te'o's girlfriend, who was said to have died, wasn't real. She was made up. Te'o says he actually never met the woman. It was all an internet romance, and he says he was the victim of a cruel hoax. Well, Thursday, he gives his first on-camera interview to Katie Couric will be seen right here on WVEC Channel 13. That is Thursday at 3 p.m. The story just keeps growing and becoming even more bizarre.
It certainly has everyone's attention, doesn't it?
Yeah, several people supposedly were the victim of this hoax.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about it's MEAC Monday. That's right. We got you got your Norfolk State, you got your Hampton. We're going to start with Norfolk State, the defending MEAC basketball champion. Last year they won it for the first time ever. They're off to a good start at repeating after winning their first 5 conference games this season. So tonight, the Spartans at home against Morgan State. Early on, things looking great for the Spartans, and especially Rob Johnson. He had 17 points for the night and 6 points in the first 4 minutes of the game. Penny Williams with a 3-pointer here. He had a game-high 20. Things going the Spartans' way. And Brandon Good also had a good game tonight. Good was good. Turnaround jumper here. He had 18. And the Spartans were up 40-31 at halftime. Johnson with another bucket here. However, Morgan State came back to tie it in the second half. Still, the Spartans were able to turn it on late. Brandon Good with the dunk here. Norfolk State won it, 73-71. They're 6-0 in the MEAC. The Norfolk State women also won. Hampton men tonight against Coppin. The game at the Convocation Center on the campus at Hampton University. Ramon Mercado had a big game for the Pirates. Hit that 3. Next time down the floor, Mercado is going to hit another 3. He had a career-high 24 points tonight. Emmanuel Okoroba, another double-double for him. He had 14 points, 13 rebounds, 2 of his points coming here. The Pirates were down by 7 at halftime, but came back, sent the game to overtime, and lost in overtime, 67-65 to Coppin. Lady Pirates also playing Coppin. They played the early game tonight. Lady Pirates undefeated in conference play. Olivia Allen had the game of her career off the bench. She had a career-high 22 points. Phoebus alum Nicole Hamilton, 3-pointer there. She had 12. Janiqua Guilford, you might remember her as a Lady Monarch. She transferred to Hampton. She picks up a deuce here. And the Lady Pirates won their 5th straight game tonight, winning it 58-50 over Coppin. All right, one more shot from Allen because she had such a good game. Lady Pirates win it by 8. When we come back, several area athletes playing in colleges and the NBA. We'll catch up with them in just a minute.
Break. Let's fade or break master control. Kim, when you're in preset. Thank you. Stand by 1.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're out.
Dissolve my cue. Stand by.
Time to catch up on 3 area high school basketball players who are making a name for themselves at the next level. First of all, let's start with Jaquan Parker for Cincinnati, number 21 in the country, against number 3 Syracuse. Parker, from the corner here, hits a 3-pointer in the second half. He led Kings Fork to the state championship and was the AAA State Player of the Year in 2009. Another 3-pointer here. He had 11 points in the second half. That, by the way, is his season average, 11 points. Another 3 here for Parker. They had a 7-point lead over Syracuse at the Dome, but Syracuse came back to win it with less than 20 seconds to go, 57-55. How about Elizabeth Williams from Princess Anne High School? Her number 4 Duke Blue Devils against number 3 UConn in women's basketball. Williams was only 5 of 15 tonight, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 more points here. The game was close at halftime. They were only trailing by 2 at halftime, but got blown out in the second half, 79-49, your final.
Relax.
And then there's the Atlanta Hawks and Mike Scott, Chesapeake native, UVA alum. Had his best game as a pro tonight. He had 11 points. The season best as the Hawks won it 104-96 over the Chiefs. That's your local update.
Win or lose, I love watching the local kids.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thanks, Scott.
All right, bundle up.
That's right. We are talking about some very cold weather the next few days. Temperatures tomorrow will not warm up. It'll continue to fall tonight. Only get to about 32 tomorrow, 33 on Wednesday. Tomorrow night will be the coldest night. An official low of 18, many inland spots in the lower teens and wind chills in the single digits. Warm up by Friday, although swings in the extended forecast.
Thanks, Simon. Yes. And that is 13 News at 11. 13 News Daybreak starts at 4:30 tomorrow morning.
And stick around now for Jimmy Kimmel Live, followed by Nightline. Good night, everyone.
5,
Copyright.
4, 3.
Music up. Is that what you got?
1.
Fade.
See y'all tomorrow.